Hello, this is Coco. I'm about to do a recap of episode 2 of Borrow Your Love. And sorry for any pronunciations or if anything was out of order, or at least you know about it. So, it starts off with Cheyenne Ping telling the story how she saved the chairman. And I mean, according to her, I guess she went in there because, she was a hero. She saved it all. And so, while that's going on, while she's telling them and they were getting pictures because, they think she's this big old hero, there's the lady, I guess her name is pronounced Bay. She's the whole runner of the shopping center, which Cheyenne Ping works at. And she's telling, Lai Ziwan, is she your friend, and he's like, yeah, and she's like, get him a new motorcycle, and he does, and she figures, he's gonna come see her, because of course he does, because, he ain't taking nothing for free. But anyway, she has this big old office meeting that's like, okay, I got kidnapped, it's over with, let's not talk about it. And this dude, he's looking at her like, you ain't sugar honey iced tea. And he is Chairman G. Well, he is her brother-in-law, and he's like, look, this company was named after our family, and she put her brother-in-law in check. She was like, look, your brother and me got married. Me and him are the one that got it as big as this is. I mean, she shut him down. He had to leave the meeting because, he should have felt embarrassed. He should have. If he hadn't, he should have. Anyway, so he's like gone and everything else. And she wants to reorganize the food court, which of course is where Cheyenne Ping works at. And I thought they meant reorganizing. And apparently that means getting rid of folks, the food vendors. And so, executive, oh wait, before we get to that part. Well, while Cheyenne Ping was like, she started talking funky about their captain, the person that's in charge of all the food vendors. And she's like copying her, mocking her, and then bam, it's all automatically like, okay, like, when you talk about someone and there they are type scene, there she was. And, Cheyenne Ping looked like ain't nobody in sight. And so her captain's telling her, you're going to have to clean all the bathrooms up. And so all of a sudden, 2 of her buddies appear, and they're like, oh, I feel bad for you. She's like, that's okay, because I got my 2 buddies. Bam, again. They ain't nowhere to be found. And them 2 apparently grew up in an orphanage with her. So, back to her. She's cleaning the bathroom, and she's acting all happy. I do not understand why. But she is, and at this time, of course, Yixin comes to tell, Bai that, he don't need that motorcycle, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, of course, take it, but I need you to help me find my daughter. She said that I left my husband and my daughter, but unfortunately, I didn't ever know her name. So she hired a private investigator, and he couldn't find nothing. She's like, I can give you a hefty sum of money. Cause she's like, I basically like, you got out of prison. I know ain't nobody gonna hire you, but I hire you. We can have that trust, type thing. And of course, the only picture she has, of course, they put he picks it up by his thumb, which covers up the dad's face, which again, in episode 2, you see his face. So that just convinces me more that Cheyenne Ping is her daughter, because like, why cover up the face, because even though there's both of them too, only one's father's got face shown. But anyway, so so while Cheyenne Ping is cleaning the bathroom, here comes Yixin. She's like, you following me? And he's like, I don't think so, this is B's restroom. And she's looking around like, oh, okay. And then he started looking at her, remember he called her chest scrambled eggs, and he called them poached eggs, and of course that made her mad, and she's going off, and I'm like, okay, look, he's about to pee, he might want to leave, but she pushes him out the way before he can even, and he said something, and so she picks up the bucket where she was mopping the floor to throw at him, but unfortunately he moved, and it hits her boo, well, her wannabe boo. the executive assistant, Lai Z Wen. I feel like just calling him the executive assistant because it's easier to pronounce. And she feels so bad, and she pours the rest of the water on herself. And they looking at her like, "What is wrong with you?" And they start busting out laughing. And she feels all embarrassed. And so it goes to the next scene where he's taking the hair blow dryer and blowing his hair, and she's over her like daydreaming that he's gonna turn around and kiss her. And he's looking, and he wakes up like, she's like, oh, he's like, what was you thinking about? She's like, nothing. He's helping her with the hair and everything else, and she's like, you're so nice to me. He's like, you remind me of a puppy, and I'm with her, a puppy, like what? And so he's talking about this sad scene, and she's looking at him like, is he thinking about his hurtful past? And here comes Ji Shin looking at them like, hello. He was like, have I interrupted something? And so Ji Shin gives the executive assistant, his clothes to change. And she's like, oh, let me help you. She started over buttoning him, and they get the picture. He's like, I could do it. She's like, no, let me. He says, oh, you want me to strip immediately or what? And then she realized like, oh, you gonna end up seeing him naked, So she's like, okay, I'll just wait outside. Which she does. And I don't even know how the next scene went, but all I know is Executive Lee is talking to everybody. So Ya Ping and Ya Yu hear the executive assistant saying that they're reorganizing the food court, which, remember, she was having that meeting to begin with. And unfortunately, this means that that they gotta go. That's what it means. And they just mad. So Shy Ping's gonna go up there and went up to she busts into the door, and Bae makes everybody leave. So it's just Shy Ping, Bae, and her sister Shy Ji Yu, and the executive assistants in the room. Just them three. Well, them four, my bad. And Shine Pink is like, what's up, man? Basically, all I'm here is about just making the money. And Shine Pink's what about people's feelings? She said, look, feelings don't make no money. And so Shine Pink was going into her, and oh no, Shy Ji Yu, her sister for life, slaps her in the face. I would have been like, what? The look on her face, it was so sad. Look on her face. I thought, this is the moment when you don't talk to people, But of course, after the little break scene comes back, Shy Yu is dragging Shy Ping into the room with executive assistants following them, and she's like, look, Shy Ping, look. I mean, we get that you're trying to help people and whatnot, but you didn't think with the consequences. Like, we young, we can go find us another job, but those are elderly folks, they can't hustle and grind like we do. And Shy Ping is like, blah blah. I ain't apologizing to that chick. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Shy Ping, stop playing. But she goes off and leave, and what ends up happening? Oh, Shy Ping gets kicked out. That's what that means. So the next day, she's going to start, before she starts the next day, she went to go visit the orphanage. And, they call it a director, basically, the person that's been with them the rest of their life growing up, they had their talk, and the director told her that, Yu felt bad for, slapping you. Yeah, it goes back to the scene of what happened to them when they was little kids, which, basically showing that, even if a mom's on your side, she still gotta punish you in front of others. And so hopefully you understand why Shy Yu slapped you. I'm still, no, I'm sorry, I don't think I can get over it. I don't care if she figured it out or what, but no. Ain't nobody about to slap me if we okay. I don't care if I understand the reason or not. So anyway, the next day, Shy Ping is out there. She got the other two that that disappeared all of a sudden when she was about to clean the bathroom. They was about to have a riot. started, and here comes all the elderly folks. She's like, no, 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 don't come out. I don't want you to lose your job. And they were, object, object, object. And Chairman G was like, oh, sick damn shoe. Babe's gonna get it because he don't like his sister-in-law at all. And he was like just ready to eat it up. He was about to talk to the newscast people, but of course, Babe comes on out. And so does Yi Shin at the time, because he went to go tell her that he ain't found nothing about her daughter yet. And executive assistant's like, shoot, any of the strong ones is forced to be used, it need to be used. And so she goes out there and about it basically like just spits out lies out of her mouth saying that if y'all stop this, y'all get 1 more year to stay with our company. And so you would think, okay, yeah, y'all should take that. And so while doing the 1 year y'all got, find y'all another job. And shoot, they was like, oh, no, shoot, we upset. It's too late for that damn. But, Sean Ping calmed him down and said, look, she wouldn't lie to us. And, she'll give y'all 1 more year. And so they all go in. And so they and the executive assistants are in the office. And she's like, I need to write your new clause up in here, basically for a new plan. So what they don't know is basically she really just lied through her teeth that she ain't keeping them for another whole year. Basically like 2 to 3 months until she come up with a new plan. And he's already feeling kind of bad, but he's like, tough it up, suck it up, suck it up, I'm a man. He's like, he's like, this is what I want to learn. And so it goes on to nightfall, and Shine Ping's out there hanging out her laundry on her personal deck to let it dry. And here comes Yi Shin coming out on his balcony, and of course she always thinks he's doing something or following her, and he's like, look, this is my house. And she's like, oh no, blah 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 blah. And she was going off for him, and then she sees the landlord coming down, and comes to find out because it's the jobs apartments. Basically, they were getting kicked out, and apparently these thugs, these gangsters coming up in there like, look, if you don't move out willingly, we'll move for you. And they start throwing out stuff, and she's gonna call the police. For the landlord, her lady say, look, no, you can't do that. Then she's like, okay, I'll move out. And so but Shi was not there, and Shine Ping didn't even notice that. Yi Shin was noticing everything. He recognizes one of the dude that's the one that dropped. Remember when I said he was a sensitive thug? Cause I'm like, you just got out of prison and you over fighting over a plant that hit the ground. But the dude didn't recognize him. Like, he seemed familiar. But so while Shine Ping got all their suitcases out, here comes Sha Ji Yu, and Sha Ji Yu's like, I guess we go back to the orphanage. And Shine Ping didn't want to, because she didn't want to cause trouble and everything. But here comes the second lead. Is her name Lee? It is Lee. The lazy. When executive assistant, he comes and said, Yi Shin called me, and that's just too far out for y'all to go. And so he shouts up to Yi Shin, can they stay with you? And he's like, shoot, it ain't my place anyway, so sure. And Shine Ping ain't having this because she don't like him anyway. But they go in or whatever. So it goes on to the next day, and Bae's she's in the conference room, and here comes Chairman G, like, looky here, shoot, he just causing more trouble. He didn't talk to a small newspaper about all the trouble going on, and that just makes her upset, but she kind of brushes it off, and he leaves. And when the executive assistants come in here, he's like, look, here's the contracts. She's like, look at that on the newspaper. And he's like, we already put pressures on the big companies, they ain't gonna talk about what went down. And she's like, them two girls, okay, they're getting up on my skin. They got to be dealt with. Called a gangster. Okay, this lady's so straight up G. She was not having it. She wasn't having it. And this is like, oh no. So he does what she says, but what she don't know is that he called to warn Shine Ping, and she used that, look, the boss lady got some people coming after y'all. He's like, y'all need to get back. She's like, well, we already to the orphanage. He's like, well, go to the orphanage, don't say. But then they stopped running to go because if those, gangsters come and, hurt the kids and whatever, And so when they turned around to go another way, there was the gangsters, but of course, thinking this executive assistant had called his home dog, his homie, Yi Shin. And of course, he comes and, help and whatnot. So, while he's over here help beating up people, and she, realizing later, she's like, oh, she ended up and done it. She ended up and done it. So she's getting on his motorcycle to go tell the chair lady off, and the chair lady was like, oh, get security, and she's like, oh, should I go tell them that you try to kill us? I think it was just beating up, but things could have got lost in translation, and I hope the boss lady wouldn't try to kill them, because she heartless one. I agree with Sha Ping. She worse than the leashes, and she sucked more blood than leashes. But anyway, and so they going off and going at it, and Sha Ping finally put her hands on the lady. She was shaking. Shaking back, and here comes Yi Shin, and Sha he's like, stop it, blah blah blah. He said, you both regret it. She could be your mama, and it's like, what? And so he looked at the piece of paper, because during the time Yi Shin was hitting a deadline before all this stuff went down, he found out that, either Sha Ping or Sha Yu could be one of hers. And so she's like, I want her to get blood tests done, and Sha Ping ain't having it. She's like, no, I don't want get no blood tests done, and blah blah this and blah blah that. But Sha Yu finally talked her into it, and so them two can they got to move back into their place until she found out, who's her daughter. And she helps him, and he leaves and finds out he's having a drink with the executive assistants, and Yi Shin is like, shoot, I know you like Sha Ping. She's like, nah, dude, they ain't even like that. But but there's something going on. I don't know. I mean, apparently she reminds him of somebody, but he's always nice to her. Like, even she even picks up on it. I don't know. So anyway, it goes back to them two. Sha and Ping is remembering, what the boss lady said, like, you kill her, who? I don't care. Seeing, she's like, they can't be my mama. I'd rather have nobody be my mama than her be my mama. And when she gets up, she sees you looking at you. She's like, oh, you ain't asleep? And she's like, no, I just got done finishing it, my scar. It's like, I knit you one too. And Sha and Ping was like, well, hopefully, babe, your mom, she doesn't have a problem with you. And I think that's the way it ended. And that's pretty much what happened. It was a good episode. It was. So that's it.